Anyway, we're live.
Woo!
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Steve. And hi,
So
everybody.
I see you put TikTok Shives in the chat. Thank you very
And
much. I appreciate that.
you're
It's
so
very
welcome.
helpful. Very
I just want
helpful.
everybody to know that we were here and we were excited to see them, even if they couldn't see us quite yet.
Yes. And since we were talking about it right before we went live, to anyone who is going to use the Internet Archive link to get the episode that we're watching tonight, we are watching Poirot, The Mystery of Hunter's Lodge, and there's a link to the Internet Archive version of the episode in the pinned chat message that I have there. Internet Archive servers, once again, are being kind of slow. So if you have not acquired the episode yet and you were going to acquire it through that link, I would say go ahead and start downloading it now. Because Dana and I will do our typical opening chit chat for the next 20 minutes or so. And depending on how good your connection is, you may
Our
need all of that and then
banter.
some. Ooh, I like that.
Thank you.
Our vivacious banter. Yes, indeed.
I thought about witty, but I didn't want to set the bar too high for you.
Well, vivacious is, I'd rather be witty than vivacious, but being vivacious is so much easier.
I know, right?
So you had kind of a busy day today. You took a little mini road trip to Atlanta.
Yep. Which I did last week as well, but last week it was on Tuesday. So a little bit more time before the live stream. So yeah, Atlanta and back. Went to the union headquarters, and I'm helping to prep for new employee orientation and discussing some ideas about how to just sort of approach different mindsets, how to have conversations about, what a union is, and some of the reasons behind objections to unions, which are wrong. Unions are good.
But just how to answer those objections.
Well, yeah, the idea that the big one, of course, is that unions protect bad workers, and unions protect workers. Period. Some workers don't do a good job. They get protected too. They
right.
Even rotten people have rights, and those rights should be protected.
Yeah, that's a concept that a lot of people have a problem with, just on a broad level, not even specific to unions. Just the idea that if you're a bad person, you should still have certain guaranteed rights in society.
And people don't like that. Not a big fan of Trump.
No.
He had to say the least.
But he deserves due process. And he's getting it, and then some.
Yes, that. That, but also, people, when the conviction was, when we got news about that, there were a lot of jokes about prison rape, and that's not cool.
Yeah, no, we don't need that. Yeah,
no, not. That's not. If people have rights, then that includes bad people who do bad things. So, for much the same reason that I just sort of remind myself to be patient and just encourage people not to make fun of him for being fat.
Yeah.
There's so much other stuff. Actual stuff to complain about. Can we focus on that? Please.
It's not about wanting to be nice to him or to spare his feelings. It's about, it's the sort of thing that you just shouldn't make fun of anybody about. I mean, be as mean to Donald Trump as you want. Like, I'm not going to scold anybody for being mean to Donald Trump. But there's plenty of good stuff to be mean about.
No shortage of good reasons to be to rake him over the coals, so to speak. But
or maybe
so and unions do protect bad workers because they protect all workers. But what I said is, I have never met someone whose career goal was to be bad at their job. I don't think that actually happens.
Right, to intentionally do as lousy of a job as possible. I'm never going to get fired. I'm in the union. Like, that kind of person doesn't. If they do exist, they are in very small numbers.
Well, and not only that, when they do exist, they have become that way, and it's not something that just magically happens in like an instant or overnight. So,
Right.
what some of the other things that unions can do are to provide training and support so that people do not get burnt out, overworked, the things that lead to that sort of disengagement, that help them develop the skills that they need to be the best version of themselves professionally that they can be. And so, that's something that our union and unions in general tend to provide, in addition to, worker protections and things like that. So,
Vilkata, that sounds fascinating and horrifying. Vilkata says, at work today in the break room, I have the misfortune of sitting next to two conspiracy theorists as they discovered each other.
it's interesting. I'm curious, did they say, oh yeah, what do you think about the moon landing? Oh yeah, what do you think about the rotundity of the earth? I don't know.
Like, how does that conversation get started?
I'm very curious. And I mean, because like we talk about conspiracy theorists, like they're just like, woo, conspiracies, all of them. Let's just take them. But I mean, I would guess that you start somewhere and then it kind of like piles on.
Vilkata says, and I find this very interesting and very telling, is that it didn't start with conspiracy theories. Vilkata says they started with liberal teachers are ruining society, not a conspiracy theory, just a really shitty opinion. Two, Gaza is
like
getting
a conspiracy to me, like a conspiracy among the liberal teachers.
It could be just an opinion on the effect that liberal teachers are having, not necessarily a conspiracy theory. Then Gaza is getting what they deserve. Again, not a conspiracy theory, just an incredibly shitty opinion. And then from there to the moon landing was fake, UFOs are real. So it's it's not that long of a trip from shitty retrograde right-wing political opinions to
really interesting
to complete outrageous bullshit conspiracy theories.
I mean, in fairness, technically, literally speaking, UFOs are real.
Well, yes, there's people are seeing something. At least in some cases, people are seeing something. But
you see something going up there. I don't know what it is. It is therefore unidentified.
UFOs being extraterrestrial is a conspiracy theory that is utterly without evidence. Yeah.
It came from where? Outer space.
Well, that's what the movie says.
Indeed. Well, movies.
Well, no,
where, of course, is not what the movie says. Where is the audience interjection?
The movie, it came from outer space. I mean, that's
right. I was talking about the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's a line in the opening song. It came from where? Outer space. I think it's the opening song. It might be later.
I see.
Anyway.
Yeah, H.B. Haggard, they're just stuff in the sky that you don't recognize. Exactly.
Exactly. There's all kinds of stuff in the sky I don't recognize. I mean, clouds, there's a lot of those. I recognize those. I can recognize a cloud. Although some clouds, they look really weird and I don't recognize them. Do clouds, I don't know that clouds count as flying though. They're more floating.
They're sort of a floating. Yeah.
But if you can't identify them, you don't necessarily know that they're floating rather than flying.
That's true. That's true.
Hi, Snakebit Cat.
So did you want to check your download?
Yeah, I want to check my download. That is kind of creepy, actually. So I'm glad you survived that.
Do the voices in my head bother you?
37 minutes left, or an hour. It's not sure. Let's try.
Then download the one I sent you.
Yep.
Try that.
So.
Air One Fire says some people mistake the moon for a UFO. Yeah, well, I mean,
nope, the moon is definitely identifiable.
Some people wouldn't know it was raining even if they walked outside. So,
Yeah, wow. Alrighty. Hey, it says it's done. Woohoo!
Oh, there you go. How about that?
Okay. Dear sweet Jesus, please let this work. Let me make sure that it'll do its thing. Okay,
You're good?
It's going into my earbuds, so yeah, I'm good.
Sweetness.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what's an F word? I missed. Did I cuss HB Haga? Something's an F word. I don't know. I missed it. I'm sorry.
There's
I
all
apologize.
kinds of F words. There's all kinds of F words.
So many.
No, Vilkata, like, yeah, it's an Internet Archive server issue. I think they're just having some network problems. So
boo, hiss.
Now, this is an interesting question from BB. Do you think Poirot would be a conservative that voted for Biden?
I think Poirot would be a conservative in the non-political sense. Like,
yes,
he is kind of, he admits that he is set in his ways. He's like, once he finds, but he's not unwilling to change. He's just, I like things that I like. And it takes a lot to get him to change, but he is willing to change. Oh, he'll also be something of a jerk about it.
He will change very, very grudgingly,
and he'll pout about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but yeah, it's. I mean, I don't. It's. He's a fictional character, and he is a fictional character who was supposed to have lived almost 100 years ago. So, it's always kind of tricky to try to project what would his politics be if he lived today. But like, and if he actually existed and he lived today, but like, it is difficult to imagine Poirot voting conservative.
Yeah, he's a very
in today's environment. Yeah. Well, and like conservatives, both the Tories in the UK and the Republicans here, like they're very anti-international, like they're very isolationist. And Poirot being a refugee, being someone who came to the country he's in from another country.
Yeah, he'd have a lot of sympathy for the Palestinians.
I would think so, and for immigrants and refugees in general. And I don't think he would react very positively to that kind of anti-immigrant rhetoric.
I don't know, Vilkata. I don't think he would have voted for Sanders. He would say, no. He has very good ideas, but he does not actually have any policies to follow up with them. It is not enough to have the good ideas. We must have a plan in place to put them into motion. Otherwise, what use is it? We must vote for a candidate who will actually get things done and not simply make speechifying.
The top 1%, Hastings, this man always with the top 1%, every question he is asked.
Once again, he is asking me, why does he not just put all of his asks in one simple long letter? I will read the whole letter.
The little gray polling place. Of course, I guess in England, all of the polling places are gray because of the weather.
My same thing. I was like, it's because it's England.
I say it's foggy. Mr. I Love the Ants. Yeah, sorry about that. It's it's an Internet Archive issue.
We blame them.
I will say when I downloaded it earlier, my default browser is Chrome, and for whatever reason, Chrome was not getting along with the Internet Archive. But then I tried to download it using Firefox, and it downloaded fine. So I have no idea what difference that could possibly make. But or maybe I just got lucky, and when I downloaded it through Firefox, that was during an interval when the server was working better. Maybe it was, it meant nothing at all. I have no idea, but that was my experience. So we will filibuster for a little while longer, and hopefully folks can get the episode. 255 AD, they're having it. Well, we're having one too. So we've had one for the last. Well, yeah, a heat wave.
Unfortunately,
yeah, it has been in the highs in the mid to upper 90s all week here, and really throughout all up and down the East Coast of the United States, which is unusual historically unusual for this time of year. Historically, it doesn't usually get that hot until into late July. And August.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What about you? How has your week been?
It's been good. I've been writing. I'm writing the next week's Star Trek video is the video, sort of the series wide retrospective on Star Trek Discovery. I actually finished writing it a little bit before I sent you the Zoom for us to
Awesome.
jump aboard this. Yeah. I think it's done. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to be focused on writing my retro review, so
right.
I may not have a chance to look at the script I finished today, but if I have a chance tomorrow, or if not that, then Friday, I'll take a look over it and see if I can do anything else to it. But at the moment, I think it's probably done.
Am I allowed to ask you today what tomorrow's retro review is going to be about? Which episode?
Yeah, sure. I announce it at the end of every one. Yeah. No, it's not a secret. I announce the next. Okay. I announce the next one at the end of the current one. Yeah. No, it's another. Well, I'm in the middle of the another batch dedicated to Borg related episodes.
Okay.
And so we're now into the part of the Borg episodes where it's just all Discovery episodes from here on, because I've reviewed all the Borg related TNG episodes, and I reviewed the one Borg related Star Trek Enterprise episode last year, which is excellent, by the way. The one Borg episode of Enterprise, absolutely fantastic. One of the best episodes Enterprise ever did.
Is it one of the best Borg episodes?
Yes, it is. It's a very good Borg episode.
Because you talk about how, you know, the whole bringing the super powerful villain back again and again. And that's relatively recent, I would guess.
Yeah, it's the most recent one. Well, other than like the stuff they did in Picard, like other than the current generation of shows. Yeah, it defies a lot of expectations. It defies a lot of you know, because yeah, it does a lot of things that I generally dislike and wish they wouldn't do, but it gets away with it.
But it does them well.
It's bringing back the Borg yet again. And not only is it bringing back the Borg, it's bringing back the Borg in a series where the Borg has absolutely nothing to do with the Borg. Like, it's importing a villain from a completely different show, just purely for the sake of, let's do a Borg episode. You know, maybe people will watch, right? And it turns out to be a really good episode. So full credit to the creators of Star Trek Enterprise back then for doing a really good Borg episode. But tomorrow's episode review is going to be of a Voyager episode called The Raven. That is that deals with some of the backstory of Seven of Nine and lets us see what horrible parents she had and how it came to be that she got Borgified in the first place, because she was the child of absolutely horrible, irresponsible parents who put their young child in a situation for no reason where the Borg could assimilate them and sort of incorporate them into the collective.
Oh dear.
Terrible parents.
So you
especially when they live in a utopian future where childcare is free. Like, it's not like, well, we have to take her along, we can't afford to no, it's there's no money in the future. You live on Earth where you could just, even if you don't have relatives that can watch her, I'm sure there are childcare services on the Earth of Star Trek in the 24th century. They could have left her somewhere and not taken her along. Hey, let's go maybe get killed by the Borg. Sound like fun?
Sure.
Yeah.
Not so much for me, personally. Not a fan.
Not a fan of
being
getting killed by the
Borg.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Well, not a fan of being killed in general. I play
or not even killed, but just like enslaved by them, like pressed into the collective.
Yeah.
Air One Fire says, I finished all the work. Now I have 4 days of doing nothing without any guilt. Congratulations. Good job. That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
That is very, very, very fantastic. Vilk says, since I don't typically watch on-air shows, I'm finally watching Discovery. I enjoyed the first season, though I could have done without the must be related to someone famous lazy writing. Well, if you like the first season, I'm curious to see what you'll think of the subsequent seasons, because I still think the first season is, if not for this just finished 5th season, I would still say the first season was the weakest season. So if you liked it, then hopefully you'll like season 2 even better, because I thought season 2 was overall probably the best season of Discovery that they ever did. And they even kind of find a way to do something with the Spock thing, which yeah, I agree with you. In fact, I say that in the script that I wrote today, that, you know, even though it kind of pays off in the end because it leads to what turns out to be a pretty good version of Spock, Ethan Peck's Spock, that then leads to Strange New Worlds, which is a fantastic show featuring Spock and also featuring the version of Captain Pike who is introduced on Discovery. Like, even though it pays off and I can't really complain about it, as a rule, I wish they would avoid the, well, I could, but as a rule, I wish they would avoid the, you know, oh, it's this character is the son of another character that you know, or is related to, you know, it's like, just please, just make them original characters. Your hero doesn't need to be like the daughter of someone from the last show or the cousin of someone from the last show, or, you know, we don't need that, you know?
No, you don't have a deep aching yearning in your heart for everybody to be related to everybody else.
No. Do you know what my favorite part, and I say this with crossed fingers because I have no idea if they're going to completely blow it in the last couple of episodes, but you know what my favorite part so far of the Acolyte, the currently running Star Wars series on Disney Plus, has been?
Are there no characters with connections to other Star Wars stuff?
So far, nobody's related to anybody. Nobody's related to any legacy characters. Nothing seems to be setting up something, you know, like, oh, that, you ever wonder why that thing in Star Wars is like that? Well, here's a 6-episode explanation. Like, there's nothing like that. And again, fingers crossed that they don't spoil it in the next couple of episodes. But so far, it seems to be an original story featuring original characters set within the Star Wars story world. You know, and it hasn't blown me away. Like, I haven't been on the edge of my seat going, this is the greatest ever. Like, it hasn't done that, but it's mostly kept my interest. You know, it hasn't been great, but it's kept me watching. It's kept me at least a little bit intrigued by what's going to happen next. And it hasn't resorted to the kind of lazy bullshit fan service that
you don't like.
That I don't like, that unfortunately a lot of the more recent Star Wars stuff and Star Trek stuff as well has done. So, yay.
Awesome. Well, I hope I haven't been watching it, but I hope you continue to enjoy it and it is pleasantly surprising for you.
Me too. 255 AD says, I wanted to thank you for something related to this stream. I ended up visiting the Lake District because it appeared in Poirot, in a Poirot episode, and I was like, how have I never been to this part of my country? Cool. Well, I'm glad that...
Isn't that neat?
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, Mr. Armor. Yeah, there's been some kerfluffle about a background character of no. Yeah, there's a guy, one of the Jedi Council is someone who also appears in the prequels, I guess. But he's a nobody background character that, like, means nothing, does nothing.
And it doesn't actually, they apparently, I mean, since you didn't know about it, they apparently didn't make a thing about it. You know, about, they don't expository dialogue his action from the prequels.
No, yeah, the only reason some people are upset is because due to the year in which the show takes place, it apparently contradicts what people thought was the birth year or the lifespan of that character. They were like, it's too early for him to be here. Why is he here? And I'm like, just shut the fuck up. You're upset about some nothing background character. You know what I mean? It will be like,
so are they saying like, so does the Acolyte happen before the prequels?
And yes, the Acolyte happens. Yeah, the Acolyte happens, I think, something like 100 years before most of the main action of like the prequels and the, you know, when what followed. I think it's, I mean, it doesn't, that's another nice thing about it. It doesn't really matter. It's not like I'm sitting there watching and going, wait a minute, is this 100 years before or 1,000? It doesn't make any difference because it's just an original self-contained story. Who gives a shit what year who gives a shit what made up year of the made up universe it takes place in? It doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter.
Apparently, nerds.
Yeah. But you know what? It's like, it reminded me the other day, because I was watching some people on Twitter, like mostly people on Twitter dunk on people who are actually upset about it, because I don't really follow people who would actually be upset about it, because fuck those people. Life's too short. But it reminded me of, like, if and I mean, Trekkies have their version of this as well. And I thought of, like, it's so trivial and so meaningless that it would be like if Trekkies were getting upset about the fact that Data's cat changes sex with no explanation, like in the middle of the show, which is a thing that happens. Data has a cat on TNG. Well, I'm about to tell you. Data has a cat on TNG named Spot, and Spot appears in several episodes throughout the show, and Spot is always referred to as a he. Spot is always a boy, until there's an episode in season 7 where all of a sudden Spot is a girl and is pregnant and about to give birth to kittens. And it's not just a random thing that's just sort of happening to happen. Like, the birth of the kittens leads to an insight for the characters that leads them to a solution to the crisis of the episode, right? Like, it's important to the plot. And I assume what happened was the writer said, well, fuck it. Spot's a girl now. Who cares? And that's what they did. And there was no explanation. It's supposed to be the same cat. There's not like, it's not like the boy cat died and Data got a new cat that is now a girl. Like, it's supposed to be the same cat.
Or just now the boy cat died and Picard is like, oh no.
Oh,
Data
shit.
can't find out, and replaced it with another cat that looked exactly the same.
It's like a sitcom. Data told me to watch his cat while he was away. The cat died. What am I going to do? Number one, what am I going to do? And Riker's like, here's what we do. We get an identical cat.
Hijinks ensue.
Yeah. But it would be like if Trekkies got, like, really upset at that and started, and started acting like it somehow broke the universe or it ruined everything. And it's just calm the fuck down. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's another thing, Cara. Yeah, the cat, because it's a de-evolution episode. So for some reason, the cat de-evolves into an iguana, which I don't want to disillusion anybody, but iguanas are not evolutionary ancestors of cats.
Oh my God, that's so misogynistic. What happened was the cat devolved from male to female first.
Yeah, first it devolved to a female and got pregnant.
Sexist,
and then
sexist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
The possibilities.
So how are people doing with their downloads? Because it's getting close to time. It's past time usually when we start watching, but
TikTok, everybody else.
Thank you. How does it feel, everybody else? How does it feel to get TikToked by Dana and have it not be me? Not so nice, is it? Oh yeah, it's a classic. That wasn't it. It wasn't it a it was a plot point in Monk too, wasn't it? Was it the goldfish? Was it Natalie?
I mean, it's a classic goldfish
thing. His second assistant and her son had a goldfish that the son believed that the goldfish was like 10 years old or something. And what had happened was
I've seen a story circulating on the internet that like an army brat, their deployed parent before going off got them a goldfish, and and then was killed in action, and the other parent kept replacing the goldfish, like without telling the kid, because it's the goldfish from their dead parent. What are they going to do? So this kid grew up thinking that this miracle goldfish. And it was just that the other parent was like, I can't have them thinking that the goldfish that their dead parent got them is now gone too. So. Yeah,
that's it. That was it. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully to everybody who hasn't been able to download the episode yet, my apologies.
Yeah, it was Julie's. Philip says it wasn't her son's. It was hers.
Yeah, it was hers. Yeah, that's right. But So we're going to start watching the episode. So to people who haven't gotten the episode yet, I'm sorry,
but that's
well, Cara,
okay because
go
we'll
ahead.
have the timestamp up here, so you can just
That's
get
right.
caught up with us. Hopefully, before the murder is revealed, murderer is revealed, I guess,
or maybe not.
But yeah, hopefully, relatively quickly. So just once you get it downloaded and you start it off, be like, "Hey, I'm caught up," and we'll recap if you would like.
Sure. So do you want to tell everybody what how this works, and then we'll
yeah, for
get her
those of
started?
you who have it queued up, make sure it's set at 00000000000. Okay.
There you go.
And then make sure you're gonna put I'm gonna pull up my window here because I've got multiple windows going, and I'm gonna put my cursor right over the little play icon. And then Steve's going to count us in because it's his channel. So he runs the show. He's going to say 3, 2, 1, play. And when he says play, we all click play. And then we watch through all together. And if,
there we go.
If your download is still downloading, or for whatever reason, yours glitches and you're like, that's not right, you can synchronize with us using this little time code thingy up here.
That's correct.
All right.
All right. Here we go. I will count us in. 3, 2, 1, play. And we'll watch Poirot, the mystery of... Yeah. Oh, yes.
Because you said play. I'm kidding, though. I didn't actually. So we're good.
I'll count us in, and we'll watch Poirot, the mystery of Hunter's Lodge.
Okay.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
So while that's going through its little shadinky at the beginning, Indeed. For future reference, you may want to go ahead and get the next episode of Poirot sometime within the next 2 weeks.
Just in case.
Have it on hand. It's just so soothing.
255 AD says, a while ago I made a joke about a Trek show doing an episode to explain why the Enterprise uses what look like CRTs. I've since found out there are fan theories to explain that. That doesn't surprise me. Any kind of meaningless trivia that does not need to be explained. There are fans, not just of Star Trek, but of anything with anything like that, that have devoted way too much time and thought in their lives to explaining it.
It's working!
Huzzah! And I mean, it doesn't make me mad. It makes me roll my eyes, but I'm so accustomed to it now that it's not like I'm going like, oh, I can't believe they would do that. Like it makes me think, okay, well, good use of your one life on this earth, I guess. Trash heap, good point. The change did not ruin Spot's character arc.
What happened to the lizard babies?
I think they got changed back to kittens. Like they figured out a way to reverse the effects.
Okay, well, what happened to the kittens?
I don't know. They got adopted out to people on the ship, I guess. Or maybe Spot ate them.
Rude.
Parental rights.
Aww. You're going to be disappointed, Paro. That's the way the story works. Snake but cat. Is your keyboard okay? Dun, dun, dun. Mr. Rogers. So the rest of them are just going to hang around? Ah, fair enough, Snape and Cat. That makes more sense.
And they're like the Donner Party, just trekking out into the wilderness. Now remember, Mr. Cheney, aim at the birds.
No, 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 not the women, the other birds.
Shot me a bird.
No, they said I'm going to hang for it. They told me to. I say.
Marching to Stalingrad is a good one too there, Sad.
Oh, he's got one of those little Cane City things.
Yeah.
You're English. I am being very condescending.
Do you suppose anyone would notice if I shot one of these other people? Oh, there we go. Who do you think you are, the vice president? I wouldn't be mouthing off like that to a guy who just shot me. That's just me. That's just what I would do.
Well, yes, but see, here's the thing. You're sensible.
Oh, yeah. Don't know how I'm going to keep shooting with this minor wound to my hand. Whatever. Ooh, Ghost Wheel. That's a sadistic choice. Trump or Cheney? Cheney, if I had to choose. But boy, I really wouldn't like that.
Vilk out of that would have been good. And then the episode is over. Ta-da!
Hastings, my testicles have retreated up into my body cavity.
Ha 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 ha.
Well.
Good for you. Go get her, sir. Do you think I will?
Oh, you. Your rapier wit.
The fresh air. It's as bad as the smoke.
Poirot, it's only 50 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
I know. It should be warmer. This is ridiculous.
You are leaving? One can leave?
Oh, all right. I did not know that was also the convention. Goodbye. Thank you.
Take me with you. I will give you whatever you want. Poirot will do anything.
It's very comfortable. He's just a wet blanket. Apparently a frozen, cold, wet blanket.
See you, Snakebit Cat.
I'm just a loser. Just so.
Trash sheep. Yeah, I could see Poirot getting along with Columbo. Who asked you?
I mean, that's not how it works, Paro.
Poirot, this is a rectal thermometer. It's called Ashby Pickard Station. I think that's the most English name for anything I've ever heard.
You say?
Hmm. Oh, God, another train. It's nothing but trains here. They didn't tell me when I got the job it was going to be so many trains.
Oh, come on, Steve. Trains are good things. We know this.
Well, that would be what I would say, but I'm speaking as this character.
Oh. So
You see.
I thought you were talking as you, and I was like, I thought you liked
Oh, I
trains.
love trains. I
Okay,
love trains.
I know. Choof, 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 choof.
Bicycle, bicycle.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. Hey, boy.
That's Mr. Boy to you. Bum bum bum. Oh
Dun, dun,
no.
dun.
Help, help. What am I saying? Nobody can hear me.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh,
Oh,
trashy. Yeah, Legos.
Sean, not Afterlife, Frozen Empire. Although Afterlife, I don't like Afterlife either. I don't like either one of the newer Ghostbuster movies. Although I think the second one, the one I just watched today, is a little better than Afterlife. At least it's not quite as nostalgia fan servicey, but it still has a lot of that stuff. I didn't know that, Kara. Very interesting about the train.
Very dramatic. Like
Very
someone
vivid,
knocking on the
yes.
door of hell it was. Oh. Oh, this is that one. Oh, okay. I think this is the one where Poirot's sick, and so he has Hastings go and take down all the details, and then he solves it while he's in bed. I don't feel so good.
Yes, now we know the kryptonite of the great Hercule Poirot. A slight chill in the air.
A lack of central heating. Do not attempt to think you are all that you observe, as limited as it may be.
You just let old Detective Hastings solve this, Poirot.
Like, the sun is not his fault. I mean, he's literally not well enough to travel.
Only policeman in the country.
I'm an important policeman. I do things for rich people.
Apparently, Scotland Yard's jurisdiction.
Rich. The victim was rich. That's why they called me in.
Apparently, Scotland Yard's jurisdiction encompasses the entire island of Great Britain.
Only for the most wealthy people.
Well,
it means get to work.
Better start looking for whatever we're looking for, I guess.
Please.
Bring me some ginger ale.
I don't feel good. Chicken soup, please. I don't feel good. I want my bunny.
I'm staying home from school today. I will watch The Price is Right.
I want to talk to Captain Jap. Say something stupid so I feel better about myself.
He looked like a man.
Poor Cara. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but I do find it amusing that he is that head up
Very
over that.
invested in the
Yeah.
train related accuracy. He got up, got out of bed, ran a comb across his head.
That. Looking up, he noticed he was late. Crap, now that's stuck in my head. Thanks a lot, Steve.
You're welcome.
No wonder Paro keeps you around. I feel loads better. I feel quite smart, as a matter of
I never
fact.
realized how smart I was.
Till I said something to you. I'm so sorry, Cara. And this is Chief Inspector Japp.
He is a regular Pee Wee Herman. Now leave me to finish my Theraflu.
Oh, Cara, now that's not fair. No, I want chocolate and cream. Dun dun dun. Of course not. You are stupid.
Hastings, I'm trying to solve the case, if you don't mind. Oh, that will be my pizza.
I could eat a whole freaking pizza. My throat is a little bit sore, and I felt that earlier. And I think I grabbed. That's what I grabbed. I did. Cough drop. You too, Trash Sheep. Glad you could be here. Thanks for stopping in. Before you go, who do you think is Le Killer?
The killer.
And what was the motive?
The murderer. Her name was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Accent was a little muddled. She said.
Ashby Haga. What a twist.
That's great. He always seems so nice. It fits in with Trash Heap's theory.
Well, okay then.
Because I told him to. Bye, trash sheep. None of us liked her.
Hi and bye, Rachel. Thanks for stopping by.
That is absolute idiocy. Absolument.
Exactly wrong. I love how Hastings just watched Poirot stuff an apron into a bag with a pair of wooden tongs, and he just kept talking like nothing was happening.
Blah, 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 blah.
What a good dog.
Every dog's a good dog.
That's true.
That is why all dogs go to heaven.
She came by to collect a cock, if you know what I'm saying.
That's a game, bird.
Game that night, I'll tell you that one. Hey, Kirak.
Nice, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Paro. He's kind of.
It's a coat. It's going to need to be dry cleaned. Aha! Lay beard.
Oh, I hope the bicycle can be cleaned up and fixed. Blast. Why has he got to be right about everything?
Nobody wants to ride the bike? Okay, that's fine. Sod, yeah, it was the astronauts walking down the hallway from the right stuff shot, wasn't it?
Cara, they washed it.
Exactly.
No, no, no. Because
Hey, that's my bike. You're talking complete rubbish. Oh, yeah.
Like Superman and Clark Kent.
You don't think?
Dun dun dun.
Good one, HB Aga.
Superman doesn't even bother with the false teeth.
You're welcome.
Well, I don't know.
You know, it's the gratitude that's the true payment.
It's very amusing indeed.
Funny policeman. You weren't shit talking me back there, just out of earshot, were you, Poirot?
No, you weren't. I heard you plain and clear, and you knew it, didn't you?
Just a policeman, am I? Well, fuck you.
That was fun. The ending
fun
was
episode,
especially good.
yeah.
Those little singers, they were good.
Yeah, I love how it's like they wanted to do a Poirot is sick episode, but only until about halfway through, and then they're like, he's feeling better.
Yeah. This was that threw me off. I thought it was a different one. There's one where he gets Hastings to write everything down, and then he comes back, he reads the notes, and he solves it well. And Hastings is like, I think it's obvious, and Poirot's just like, no, you are completely wrong, Hastings.
No. Yeah. There's a it reminded me just not so much in terms of the actual story and the resolution and everything, but just in terms of some of the building blocks of this one. It reminded me of a couple of Sherlock Holmes stories. Because there's a Holmes story called The Dying Detective, where Holmes spends the entire story in bed. But in that case, he's faking. But he's trying to give his adversary the impression that he's gravely ill. And then there's another Holmes story called The Solitary Cyclist that involves a bicycle and a person disguised with the help
as a bicycle.
Well, no, just disguised with like a hat and a big bushy fake beard.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like the stories are different, but like some of the elements are similar. And as far as what you were mentioning about like Paro asking Hastings to write everything down and then sort of chiding him for coming to the wrong conclusions. In The Solitary Cyclist, Holmes dispatches Watson to yeah, I know it's brutal. Just puts a bullet right in his head. But no, he dispatches Watson to hide and watch for this mysterious cyclist that they know is going back and forth and has something to do with what they're investigating. So Watson goes and he does this, and he takes notes and he comes back to Holmes like all excited to tell Holmes what he observed. And I can't remember the details. It's been so long since I read the story, but Watson, he neglects to remember or note like the information that Holmes really wanted. And of course, the information that Holmes really wanted was something that to Watson just seemed trivial, but to Holmes, it was like the absolute vital piece of information that he needed to figure out what was going on. And so he says to Watson, because Watson is really excited. Watson thinks he's done a really good job. And he comes back to Holmes and tells him everything. And Holmes just shakes his head and goes, "Oh, my dear Watson, it's difficult to imagine how you could have done it. It's difficult to imagine how you could have done any worse." It's just like, oh, shit.
Dang.
God damn. So anyway, good episode, fun episode. I always like.
Yes, I believe that is Cara and Mr. Armour are talking about Davenheim. Yes, I think that's the one. Oh my god.
So shall we play some Wordle and then call it a night?
Yeah, I told you about my bad dream, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was brutal. So yeah, I did not sleep well last night, and
and you did some, and you had some driving to do today.
Lots of driving and traffic, as you heard. It was there was a lot of cussing.
It was not a relaxing drive. Yes, Dana called me from the car on her way to and from Atlanta, and it did not sound like a relaxing drive through the country. Yeah,
there are 5 lanes. Why are we going so slow? There's not a wreck. There's nothing. We're just all moving slow because everybody else is moving slow. Except it wasn't. It was like expletives.
Yeah, I was going to say you're
Whereas,
giving the people the cleaned up version. This is the PG version.
oh yeah. This is the you haven't paid for it version.
Ah. All right, Wordle.
Okay.
So this is today's Kirok 20 says, "Are you a road rager driver, Dana?" I think maybe you are.
I express it verbally rather than like,
you don't like pull over and try to kill people or anything, but
no, and I do drive. I drive. How I phrase it is assertively, but I try not to drive aggressively. Like
assertively.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't ride somebody's bumper just because they cut me off. Like, no, but I do drive close. It's supposed to be what, 1 car length between vehicles for every 10 miles an hour, which is just like, to me, seems excessive. Like if you're going 20 miles an hour, if you're going 20 miles an hour on the freeway, there's no way. We do not have 2 car lengths in between vehicles. That's not how it works. Nobody drives like that. So
you could set the example.
I would be stopped. I wouldn't be here. I would still be in Atlanta or on the Beltway.
All right, Wordle. So for those of you who have never played Wordle with us before, the way this works is you are now looking at the Wordle board for today's Wordle puzzle.
You are.
And Dana will take the lead and decide what words we guess and so forth. But Dana does not actually see the Wordle board. She's only going by my description of it. And if you have not played today's Wordle and you would like to play along, we welcome that. Please feel free to share your guesses in the chat and we'll play as a group. The only thing we ask is if you have solved today's Wordle already, please do not give the answer away and please do not give us any hints. That being said, shall we begin? So, our typical starter word.
H-E-A-R-T.
Yeah. Heart. Our usual starter. Okay, not a bad start, I guess. It gives us an E and an A, but both in the wrong place.
Ooh. All right. Let's go for lions.
Lions. Lions gives us an N, also in the wrong place. So we know there's an E and an A and an N somewhere in there, but we don't know where any of them go quite yet. And no H, no R, no T, no L, no I, no O, and no S.
Kirok can't be great, no R, no T. And it has to have an N. Or maybe you were saying some great to something else.
Great as in great, we're playing Wordle. Huzzah.
Naval would not work because no L.
No L, yeah.
Name will not work because we need a 5th letter. But named would work. N-A-M-E-D.
Oh, named. Yes, it could be named, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good possibility.
That's a good one. Because I was thinking that's exactly N-A something, E something. And named would fit it.
Do you want to try that?
Yeah, let's go for that. Thanks, Empire Jeff.
Named. It's not named, but we know that there is a D, and the D is the last letter.
Okay, what about the A and the E?
The N and the A and the E are all still in the wrong places.
Holy bonkers.
I know.
What about need? K-N-E-A-D.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. You want to try that?
Now H-E-A-R-T, and then it's yes, and those are all in the and the D at the end. Yes, Cara, that would be great.
So
all right, fingers crossed.
Need. K-N-E-A-D. Let's see. That's it.
Yes, go team us.
Good job.
Sad, a head will not work because we do have to have the N in there. But yeah, great job, team us. We're so fantastic, aren't we, Steve?
We're so good at
such a great team.
We as a group are so good at this.
I know. Like 12-ish, 15 heads are better than one. I don't know.
Absolutely.
All right. So let us not forget.
We have a special event coming up this week on Friday.
So you don't have to have a question or nothing prepared. You can just show up and hang out with us and watch a movie, which is?
We're going to be watching one of your favorites, Clue, starring one of the great comedy casts of the 1980s, and most particularly your boyfriend Tim Curry.
He's really not. He doesn't know I exist, but
But yeah, it's an outstanding cast. I mean, just one of the strongest comedy casts of the decade, I think. Yeah, just fantastic. So yeah, that will be our next edition of The Back Row. That will be streaming live right here at 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Clue is streaming on Peacock. That's where I will be watching it. Wherever you need to go to get your copy of it. If you don't happen to be a Peacock subscriber, that's up to you. That is between you and you, I guess.
Kirak says, quick question for you. In a week, you have DS9 Darkness and Light for the next, for what we're doing next week.
For next week's,
and asked if you like this one. Now, here's the thing, though. I don't think we've included any episodes that you did not think were good episodes or significant in some way. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, I like the Darkness and the Light. Yeah, I think it's a good episode. It's very. I'll tell you this, and I'm looking forward to watching it with you, Dana, next week, because I will tell you, it's a very challenging episode. And like morally, philosophically, like it confronts. It's a Kira episode. And it's another episode that kind of confronts some morally ambiguous parts of Kira's past. And it's like, aha. It's kind of like what they did with Odo a few weeks ago when, the Odo episode, when it's revealed that he did a thing years ago. And it's like, do you still like him now? It's similar to that.
Okay.
So. But anyway, yes, that is next week. We'll be back to Deep Space Nine, and we'll watch The Darkness and the Light. And then in 2 weeks, we're back to Poirot, and it will be the first of the double-length episodes. So we're going to watch half of it, and then we'll stop about halfway through, and we'll pick it up at that point.
So with that said, which episode is it?
The ABC Murders.
So, free tip for anybody watching. Go ahead and maybe start downloading that now.
Yeah, if you need to if you need to get a copy of it,
it's slow.
The entire Poirot series is on the Internet Archive. So just go to the Internet Archive and
download the whole thing.
Just download the whole series. Fuck it. Fill your hard drive with Poirot.
Woo! There are worse things you could do, as Rizzo says.
That's true. So that'll be in 2 weeks. In 1 week, it's Deep Space Nine, The Darkness and the Light. And in 2 days, on Friday, right back here with me and Dana, it's Clue. So
and in 4 days on Sunday.
That's right. My patron member.
However,
and go ahead.
Let's clarify. That's at noon. That's not at 6 o'clock.
That's at noon on Sunday.
That's the weird one.
And also not a live stream, but it does involve the two of us.
Yes.
Because you provided a guest voice for a video that I made, that I wrote and shot, where you play a character.
What is this?
And it goes up on Monday, on July 1st. And this is...
that's right. That's right. I remember you said it. No, I thought you were going to say, because we're recording Ensign's Log on Sunday.
We are, yes. We're recording Ensign's Log on Sunday after the hangout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a couple hours after the hangout. Yeah.
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 Oh, gosh.
So busy weekend.
Yeah.
Ensign's Log, episode 1 of Ensign's Log, season 7 will be recording on Sunday.
So yeah, I really hope everybody likes the flag episode, because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
y'all will be able to tell that was a lot of fun to do.
your performance is the highlight of it, is the thing that makes it all work. And yes, I think it is. I think it will be evident that you were having a great time when you recorded those lines.
Oh, that was fun. So yeah, I hope you all like it.
Seeing it. That'll be.
If you don't, feel free to leave a comment anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I guess hopefully we will see everybody on Friday evening at 6.
That's it. All right. See you on Friday, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.